morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the show today. I have the one and only inimitable Michael Bruce. Thanks for joining, Michael.
It's my absolute pleasure, my friend.
For those that don't know, and I'm sure there isn't anyone, just tell us a bit about you and what you're up to at the moment, and then I'm going to crack on with some questions and give you a few body blows, if that's all right.
I'll give you a very brief introduction about me because it won't be that exciting, I'm afraid. My name is Michael Bruce. I started life as a lawyer, so don't blame me for that. I fell into the world of estate agency like most people do, ended up being the CEO of an estate agency business that we bought. There's about 20 odd offices across the East, West Midlands, Leicestershire and Nottinghamshire. Then we sold that business and then started what we're more recently known for, and that is founding Purple Bricks, where I was Group CEO for a number of years. And then after that, I'm now Group CEO of Boomin, which is the most amazing property platform on the planet.
Even though you say it yourself, thank you very much for that. All right, thank you and good night. I'm off. Okay, so talking of Boomin, Michael, that's what we're going to talk about a bit today. Your colleagues and yourself have described Boomin as more than a portal. Tell me a bit about that. How do you describe it?
Yeah, I think that's fair, Nat. I think ultimately at the end of the day, we didn't wake up one morning and think, wouldn't it be amazing if we go out and create a fourth portal? Agents love that. They can't wait for that to be delivered up. That was never the objective. Being a portal is a very small element of what we're trying to achieve. It's very, very different. Portals need the oxygen of a live listing in order to function, and everything revolves around that. What we're trying to do is create a world where that isn't the case, where it's the ultimate experience, like it would be the very best neg in a branch, so that everything that's happening is optimized in a very different way. It doesn't need the oxygen of a live listing. So for example, Boomin's about not only the people who are active in market, but also the people who are passive. If you look at the active market, it's very small. The number of people in market in any 1 month to achieve objectives for agents is, we estimate, about 500,000. You know, there's only 100,000 sales transactions, there's only 200,000 lettings transactions. But actually, the passive market's enormous. And I think what portals have done is they've disengaged a big proportion of the audience away from agents and to be up here in a database. So they're up here doing a search, creating an alert, and they sit there and wait on the oxygen of a live listing, and that's when they engage. Actually, what we've got to do is create more transactions, and the only way to do that is to get more of this people that are up here, this 70% of the audience, get them down here, get them back engaging with agents, so get them getting a more accurate indication of value, getting them encouraged and supported into the market, getting them the opportunity to try and pinpoint areas they want to live and encourage sellers into the market so they can buy from them. Lots of stuff that we're trying to do, which is about generating more activity, building transaction volume and creating a market, but doing it within the context of not needing the oxygen of a live listing, but doing it off the back of all the activity that's happening. And all of our features, whether it's Smart Val, Secret Property, Sneak Peek or Matchmaker, for example, they all don't need the oxygen of a live listing in order to generate activity for agents.
Okay, so talking of Matchmaker, Sneak Peek, that sort of thing, what do you think has been your greatest innovation so far in terms of Boomin?
I think that it's absolutely the case that all of them play a part, but the ones that have really driven material outcomes so far have been things like Smart Val. So Smart Val is about getting people back engaging with agents, not sat up here in a database waiting on an alert. Secondly, getting people an accurate indication of value. And thirdly, giving agents the opportunity to encourage and engage those people into the market. And we've done 40,000 Smart Vals in January, 50,000 in February. The current run rate at the Smart Vals is going to hit 1 million a year. And that's going to be a big proportion of transaction volume. And what Smart Val really does demonstrate is that people are really willing to engage with an agent in the right circumstances. The second thing that's working as equally as hard now as what Smart Val is Secret Property. So every time that a valuations booked or a secret property is completed, it creates, a smart val's completed, a secret property is created. And a secret property just tells the world, if this valuation comes to the market, would you be interested in engaging? The average number of people who register their interest is 10.2, but more interestingly, 62% of a house to sell. So there's an opportunity then for an agent just off one single valuation to be able to encourage and support 6 more people into the market and use the 10 opportunities of those who have registered to encourage more people, that encourage the valuation that they're going on to come to the market. So both of those are working in tandem really, really well, and both of them don't require material engagement from any of the agents.
Okay, great stuff. A million a year. If that's your run rate on the smart valves, that's a big number. That's interesting. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about the TV campaign. How has that gone so far? Tell us a bit about that.
So our TV campaign has been really successful. Certainly our first campaign was a more generalist campaign. So and a lot of people were divided about the advert that we initially launched with. And when I mean a more generalized campaign, I mean it was like a portal type campaign attracting a wide audience of people. However, our campaign that we launched on Boxing Day, which is the current one, which has been really genuinely very, very successful, has been a lot more focused and targeted on what agents tell us they're looking for. They're looking for more valuation opportunities, and that it's driving that. So, you know, and going forward, if you look at our campaign from next month, we'll go into a wider strategy around ITV, Sky, radio, and on other channels, and therefore we'll get a mix of all of those for valuations, but also that more volume type traffic from a generalist perspective.
Got it. Okay. That's interesting. I'll be interested to see that when with the new campaign coming out next month. That'd be interesting. So you've got some key metrics for portals like Boomin are things like agents signed up, the public's response, that sort of thing. What can you tell us about some of the figures? Have you got some figures you can share with us in terms of measurements?
So I mean, we've been really pleased with how agents have engaged with us. I mean, we launched with a record number of agents on the platform. We've added 50% more agents since we launched the business. We got about 60% market 55% market penetration, sorry, about 60% of the top 100 agents. So engagement's been very good. We've been very pleased by that. In terms of traffic, again, we think about traffic in different ways. We've done brand tracking studies. We've had 2 now, 50% brand awareness, which is fantastic. But again, we've had upwards of 20 million unique visitors to the site. But when you think about it, lots of portals talk about traffic. They talk about 100 million page views and all of these sorts of things, when in reality, there's only 14 million homeowners in the UK, and therefore the amount of activity in market in any one month that we're all fishing for is quite small. We estimate it to be about 500,000, and we're starting to really attract that traffic in a meaningful way.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, so we'll come back to some of the stats a little bit later, if you like. There was a huge amount of anticipation before Boomin's launch, which was, of course, following a period of quite a lot of disillusionment from Rightmove in particular. So, in retrospect, do you think there was too much hype for the launch, or how do you see that in terms of the success to date?
So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily have said hype. I would have said that actually we may overcomplicated it for agents, it's fair to say. So we introduced, at a time where agents were super busy, super distracted, we introduced new features to operate in different ways, and we overcomplicated it. And then as time's gone on, we've managed to sort of try and decouple all of that complication and start to articulate it in a way that agents really understand and can engage with. So let's say initially we overburdened agents at a time they were really busy. Now agents are starting to see the benefit of what these features can do to open up the market, create more transactions. So their engagement levels have gone up materially in the last 3 or 4 months, and they're starting to see the real benefit from them. So I think, you know, the next 12 months of where Boomin is will be really interesting for agents, because the foundations we've created so far with the agents we've had are a real springboard to enable us to be a big proportion of the overall sales market and lettings market going forward. If you look at Smart Valve, for example, even for lettings, it generates landlords. 15 to 20% of the Smart Valves generated, you know, are either people who are landlords or investors. So it operates for both.
Okay. So looking at, as you mentioned, the next period, the next 12 months are going to be interesting. What would success look like for you over that period in terms of some KPIs that you could share with us?
I mean, success over the next 12 months will be to build a key agent base, a key following of agents who engage and believe in what we're trying to achieve, so we can deliver them the biggest outcome. So, and that, you know, currently we've got to build off the back of what we've currently got, and we've got to grow that. So the more agents, the better. Secondly, I think it's down to engagement. So we're starting to see big engagement levels from agents now, more than we did at the outset.
Right.
And so therefore making sure that those engagements levels we build on and grow. What we've got really wrong is account management in many ways. We underestimated how busy we would be. So we overburdened account managers with new features, which they then had to go out and train people on. And actually they didn't get enough time to go out and nurture and support and build relationships with their accounts. They were too busy doing all of that. So that will change materially going forward. And then it will be success for agents. What is the real meaningful success for them? Delivering them a profitable, meaningful relationship that isn't driven by numbers that they can't quantify, or that they can't really understand whether it delivers them profitability or costs them a load of money to actually to nurture and make work.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Michael. So here's the inevitable question regarding Purple Bricks. How do you think that's been a hindrance for the founders of Boomin to have been associated with founded Purple Bricks? What's your take on that?
I think it's fair to say initially there will be a group of people who will have taken what they read and taken our history and put 2 and 2 together and made whatever number they wanted, and therefore that's fine. I think it's what's really, really great is the amount of agents that have, you know, at best given us the benefit of the doubt, who have engaged with us. And I think once they've engaged with us, they found us to be very different to what they perhaps might have perceived or what they might read. And, you know, I think people are starting to think about what we're doing independently in lots of ways of Purple Bricks, because you got to bear in mind it's 5 years since I was the CEO in the UK. You know, and 3 years since I've left the business. So, you know, I think lots of people who want to are thawing out, and they're starting to engage with us and start to get to know us, and they can judge us from that. Okay,
that's interesting. And Boomin is for what it is now. You are Boomin, and that's that. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay. Questions on agents together. It's got a lot of respect in the industry. How has it gone as far as you're concerned so far?
It's just amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, you launch these things and you launch them really with a group of people with a vision and a mission in mind. You get criticism for why you might have done it and all of that stuff, but actually once all of that mist disappears and you look at performance and how it's helping people really understand. I mentor a number of people and I enjoy every last minute of it, and I can understand they get a lot out of it, and we're doing hundreds of those.
Yeah, I'm doing that myself.
We all have days where we question ourselves. We all have days where we question, the approach we're taking, what we're doing, and we all need mentored. We all need help. We all need a voice to try and support us
especially throughout the lockdown. I think that was, there was a lot of people that would, suffered because of that. And so it's great to have put that together. So what's the what's next for the charity?
So the next thing for the charity is to build upon what we offer in terms of mentorship, what we offer in terms of mental health support and guidance for people. Again, when people talk about mental health, they often think of people in white coats and padded cells and stuff like that. That's not mental health in its truest sense. We all have mental health, but we all have to, like we have physical health, we've got mental health, we've got to look after it. And we think that everybody needs help with that at times. And there is always a voice out there, there's always support out there to get it, and we want to build on that. And in an agency world, it can be a fairly fast moving, fairly lonely place to be at times, and therefore Agents Together, I think, adds a little bit of an alternative to that.
Yeah, no, great. I mean, it's been great. So is there a case for combining Agents Giving and Agents Together into a mega charity for the industry?
I think in all these instances, I think it's really important that they work really close together, and whether that be as independent or whether that be collectively. I think ultimately, for the industry, it's important that they understand what these charities stand for, what they're trying to achieve. And I think if what Agents Giving is doing, we support wholeheartedly. We believe in the people who are driving it and what they're doing. And from the conversations we've had with them, they believe it likewise about Agents Together. So, I, Sarah, the rest of the team are always open-minded to, and the question is, reality is, what is the very best for the industry and how can we achieve the very best objective? And if that's as independence, great. If it's as one entity, then equally great.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's interesting. Well, look, Michael, thank you very much for your time today. Just finally, before we go, what message would you like to put out there to agents that are viewing this right now?
I would like to say, firstly, thank you to those who have engaged with us over the last 11 months. It's been a remarkable journey for all of us. I think the next 12 months is going to be a really exciting journey for all of us, and we would love to have the support of as many agents as we possibly can. And we will work absolutely tirelessly to deliver for you, and we'll invest heavily to do so. And do bear in mind that everything that we create, we will be creating to add value to agents, not to charge you more money. It will be there in order to build and grow off the back of what we've already got. We've got 110 developers developing stuff all of the time. And that's all about building the best possible outcome for agents and the best possible outcome for consumers.
Okay. All right. Brilliant.
That's on the journey.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for your time today. It's been brilliant, and perhaps we'll catch up and do another one of these in a month or 2 or 3 down the line to see where you are then, if that's all right.
That would be absolutely fantastic, my friend. Thank you for the opportunity.
Brilliant. Thank you, Michael. Thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Have a good day.